right, so this is part 2 of my lesson on angle relationships. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, I'll put a link up here in the upper right-hand corner, and you should go watch that before you do this one. So in the first one, we learned about complementary angles, vertical angles, and supplementary angles. So just as a quick review, complementary angles are two angles that add up to 90 degrees. And where you're going to find that is where you have a right angle or a 90-degree angle that's been split into two angles. All right, now vertical angles are angles that are across from each other, and the reason they're important is because they're equal. So angle 1 is equal to angle 3, angle 2 is equal to angle 4. In this picture, there are also supplementary angles. So let's switch over here and then I'll come back to this one. So supplementary angles are two angles that add up to 180 degrees. And so what you're looking at or looking for with supplementary angles are straight lines. A straight line is 180 degrees. So if I take a straight line and I split it into these two pieces, then angle 1 plus angle 2 will equal 180 degrees. So straight lines for supplementary angles, right angles for complementary. All right, so let's look back at this one. So I said there are also supplementary angles. That's because there are straight lines that have been split. So if we look right here, the distance from here to here is 180 degrees. So that means angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 180 degrees. Well, there are also other supplementary angles here. So if we look at this straight line, from here to here is 180 degrees, so 2 plus 3 is 180 degrees, and 3 plus 4 is 180, and 1 plus 4 is 180. All right, so that's a review of the part 1 on angle relationships. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use these relationships and we're going to solve for a variable using these relationships. So it's basically mixing this with algebra. So when you see this, you see a straight line that's been split. So what you should be thinking when you see this is supplementary. And again, supplementary means two angles that add up to 180 degrees. So 180. So that means that this angle, so that's angle EHF plus angle FHG equals 180 degrees. So we know this angle plus this angle equals 180 degrees. The instructions here are to find the value of x. So what does x have to be so that this plus this equals 180? So we're just going to simply write that equation and then solve it. So we're going to say 2x plus x plus 60 equals 180 degrees. So the first thing you want to do in solving this equation is combine like terms. So the 2x plus the x, remember there's a 1 in front of the x that's not written, so it's really 2x plus 1x, would give us 3x. So now I have 3x plus 60 equals 180 degrees. So now I just have a two-step equation, use opposite operations to solve for x. So the next thing I'm going to do is subtract 60 from both sides. So now I have 3x equals 120, and then divide both sides of the equation by 3, and I get that x equals 40. And so that's the answer, but you can check it. So I could plug in 40 in here. That would make this one 80, because 2 times 40, and then 40 plus 60 is 100. So this angle is 80 degrees, this angle is 100 degrees. And you'll notice that I messed up this picture. I should swap these because this angle is obviously bigger than this angle. So I think when I teach this to my students, I'll put the 2x over here and the x plus 60 over there. That'll make more sense. All right, so let's look at another example. All right, so when you see this, you've got a right angle that's been split. So you should be thinking complementary. Complementary means two angles whose sum is 90 degrees. So we're going to do the same thing we did before. So again, we know that angle WXZ plus angle ZXY is equal to 90 degrees. That's what the box here tells us. So then I'm just going to write this equation. I'm going to say 35 plus 4x plus 7 equals 90. So first thing I should do is combine the like terms together. So I can combine the 35 and the 7. So now I have 4x plus 42 equals 90. Subtract 42 from both sides. So now I have 4x equals 48. And then the last step is to divide both sides by 4. So x equals 12. And so we know that this angle should have been 55 degrees, right? Because 35 plus 55 is 90. So I can plug that in and check. 4 times 12 is 48, plus 7 is 55. So I know that answer is correct, that x equals 12. All right, so this isn't one of the angle relationships I mentioned, but in my first lesson on angle relationships, I talked about the interior angles of a triangle all add up to 180 degrees. So that's the property we're going to use here. So all I'm going to do is write an equation saying this angle plus this angle plus this angle equals 180 degrees. So I have the 90-degree angle. Biggest mistake I see from my students is they forget this angle right here. Plus the 40-degree angle plus the x plus 5 equals 180. So combine like terms. So 90 plus 40 is 130, plus 5 is 135, equals 180. Subtract 135 from both sides, and you get x equals 45. Again, this is 90, this is 40, so that's 130. So I know this angle has to be 50. So I can plug this in and check. 45 plus 5 is 50. So that's the correct answer. I think I got one more for you. All right. So this one is kind of supplementary, but kind of not. So the reason why I say it's kind of supplementary is because I got a straight line that's been split. So I know from here to here is 180 degrees. The reason why it's not truly supplementary is because supplementary are two angles that add up to 180, and this is three angles. So all we're going to do is say this angle plus this angle plus this angle equals 180 degrees. And then we're going to solve that equation. So I have x minus 2 plus 3x plus 5 plus 2x plus 11 equals 180 degrees. So combine like terms. So I have 1x plus 3x plus 2x. So that would be 6x. 11 plus 5 is 16. Minus 2 is 14. Positive 14. So plus 14 equals 180. Subtract 14 from both sides. Now I have 6x equals 166. Divide both sides by 6. X equals, let's see, 2, 12, 40. I think this is going to be a decimal. Let me get out my calculator. 166 divided by 6. 27.6 repeating. 27.6, and the 6 repeats. All right, so I hope you found this useful and helpful. If so, please give it a like and a subscribe. And until next time.